Hello my friends, this is Regular Slasher and thank you for watching my videos as usual. In this clip, I want to share to you something interesting, or perhaps you have met some people like this in the dojo and whatnot, because usually when you are having a good time in a dojo, you tend to not notice this one, but I offer one tip to the beginners or people who have started about 3 to 6 months from the beginning, and you're starting to observe a certain kind of personality, especially in the teaching department of the martial art, where your sensei likes to scream like this at the student. As a beginner, you won't know that this is a proper way to teach or not proper way to teach. Alright, so I hope you're ready for this one, and if you have something to say, just like any comment, go ahead. You may type some comments in the box, and I'm sure that there are healthy discussions that may arise, and I appreciate that. Alright? Yeah. Mainly when you heard of the term the Mansplaining Sensei. Yes, by the way, what do you mean mansplaining? Alright? I encourage you to take a little Google search, what mansplain means. Long story short, it's someone who likes to teach people but talking down on them. So dictionary meaning, mansplaining is typically explaining in a condescending tone from a man of authority to usually a woman below his authority. The word mansplaining, I don't think it is restricting on a certain gender right now. It could also apply to any others, like positions of authority, and whether in the school, at work, and in the dojo, of course. Alright, so that's mansplaining. Yeah. What is an example of mansplaining? When you see a teacher scream like Japanese terms, especially when you're in a Japanese martial art, he likes to scream in Japanese like kihon, kihon, kihon oyatsu kudasai. Like, you subtly feel that there's some weird sensation that you hear, that this sensei is really bossing around. He has no intention of really teaching you a certain technique. Why? Because you can judge at his body language that, oh, he is not really there to teach, but just to show everyone who is boss. Yeah, it's a very subtle nuance, because when you are teaching, you are going to explain the technique in a matter of fact. For example, your technique has gone wrong because the alignment of the handle and the fingers, especially the thumb and the index, are not in line with the middle one. So this is why your sword shook as you let the sword blade fall down. So that's a matter of fact. Objective wise, the sensei efficiently points out the mistake, and then we're done. Mansplaining, on the other hand, is like, it's a favorite tactic from a teacher. It's like, you don't know how to practice technique, because if you do this again, people will see that you're an idiot. Well, stop doing this, because you will become an idiot if you continue doing so. Or kihon, 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 kihon oyatsu kudasai. Something weird stuff, but a mansplaining sensei can also spout Japanese terms just to let the people know that he knows Japanese. So basically, a mansplaining sensei is just a show of his ego, right? Not intended, or he does not intend on sharing what he has learned. In fact, just to repeat this, he's just there to make it clear who's the boss. Why do mansplaining sensei exist? Is that they're too eager, right? They're too eager to teach. So this is why you can spot like a first dan or second dan teacher. They have the tendency to mansplain. I mean, not all, but I encourage you to look at the body language, at the eye posture, and then how he explains it. If there are no sort of personal attack on the student's part, I think he's in the correct path. But if a mansplainer, like, he saw something, a wrong technique perhaps, and he calls the student, who? Because you are from this university, you're supposed to learn quicker than the others. And as I have heard, you should have learned this technique 3 practice sessions already. How come your stupid ass, after 3 months, hasn't learned the technique yet? See? So the result, the tendency of which is that the mansplainer will have a hard time retaining students, alright? Another point is that the mansplaining sensei usually is acting out of fear of chaos and the desperate want for order. He wants this person to go to position A, to position B in a particular amount of seconds, and there's no other way except my way. This is why he wants to dismiss all the inputs from the students. For example, the student wants to ask a question. I mean, depending on your martial art, there is a protocol. So you may ask questions at the end of the keiko, and you may also ask questions during free practice. But regardless, if you try to ask a question, a mansplaining sensei will instantly dismiss your thought and say, why the hell are you asking that? You're supposed to do kihon. It was my favorite because I actually met this mansplainer sensei who screams kihon. It's Japanese for basics, by the way. It's like, okay, what's the meaning of kihon? How does kihon work? Oh yes, you heard it, right? You heard me, right? Just do kihon. Well, he screams kihon without explaining what's the meaning of kihon. I don't know how to deal with that, but as long as you see a mansplaining one, by the end of this video, you should have the insight and the skill to identify which is a potentially good sensei and a mansplaining sensei, but you need to deal with it. In free practice or free sparring, just the minimum contact, and after that you excuse yourself and find actually good sensei that can cover for you. Yeah. That's it, my friends. And if you like what you just saw, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And especially if you click the notification bell, you'll be the very first person to know that I have uploaded another video that contains information that could be useful for you in the future. Yeah. And this is Regular Slasher signing off. Thank you. Much love. And どうもありがとうございました。Yeah. And God.